Happy Monday evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. It is bedtime Chit-Chat story time. Yay. All right, folks. This ran just earlier today on the Ramsey Show. This is your fault. Now, if you're new to this channel, I like to sit and listen to Dave Ramsey telephone calls, see what we can learn from it, all right? So let's go ahead. Let's take this all the way down. If you've been here before, grab your teacups, everybody, because we're going to get ready to spill the tea. This is called This Is Your Fault, and it just literally ran like Monday afternoon, so just a few hours ago. Let's hit it. Thanks for being here.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I am struggling with some family issues. About 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago now, my work offered me a promotion in which I had to move about 400 miles from where I currently was living. And at that time, I didn't know what to do with the house. We'd only owned it a year, so some of my family members, my wife's sisters, decided they wanted to rent the house from us.
I see a problem already. Family, do you see a problem already? It's too early to pour tea. Do you see a problem? The family wants to rent the house. Now, I'm just going to make a prediction here, okay, folks? I'm going to make a prediction. This is what I predict. The family said, oh, we will be good to the house. We will take care of it. I am making my prediction because he's calling in, all right, which means there was a problem. And guess what? The rent probably didn't get paid. Because there's something, when you take family and family says, oh, I'll rent from you, right then and there. What have I said in other bedtime chit-chat story times? Family is dead last when bills have to be paid. I'm willing to bet there was a problem with paying the rent.
Well, it turned into 2 years later. They hadn't paid rent on time once in a year. They were 2 months behind on rent. And they had trashed the house.
People, not only was I right, I don't even know what to do first. Do we do tea or do we do snaps? I think we just make this one big tea pour. All right, people, you know the routine. Get your teacups. Get your teacups, family. We got the tea. All right, let's hit it. Let's pour that tea. I tell you. Call it my age, call it insight, call it intuition, whatever you want to call it, my own past mistakes. I told you. We need to look at renting to families the same way as we look at lending money to family. Don't lend money, okay, that you can't afford. All right, if you can't just afford to give it away, don't lend it. And then the other part being probably should include to it, don't rent to family, okay, a residence that you can't afford to not have them pay rent on. Because it's really the same thing if you think about it. Whether I lend you $1,000 and you say you'll pay me back and you never do, or whether I let you rent a room for $1,000 and you pay and you don't ever pay me back, I'm out of $1,000 either way. That accuracy, folks, was spot on. That was spot on accuracy.
And we're just trying to struggle with, family gatherings are awkward, and
hasn't Mr. Ramsey said that Thanksgiving gets very awkward when the borrower is slave to the lender?
Oh, I can help you with that.
What do we do? Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
Ooh, that is some harsh but true words. Truer words have never been spoken. Truer words. Excuse me, Mr. Ramsey, for interrupting, but the caller Noah in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, chose to rent to family. And I've said it before. You've heard me say it here, family. Have you not heard me say? All right. When you involve family and money, you are the last person to be paid. If I owe mom and dad, I owe sister, I owe big brother, and I owe Chase, and I owe my landlord, okay, guess who's going to get paid last? Family's going to get paid last. So Dave is spot on correct. Yeah, it's their fault.
You put two wild, wicked, young single women into your rental house, and then you're shocked they tore it up while they weren't paying rent and you did nothing about it.
Oh, what it is like to not be the alpha male at times.
Yep.
Your fault, not their fault. They just is what they is.
And I'm even willing to bet that he had a clue that they were like that. But those clues were ignored. And you know why part of those clues are probably ignored? Nobody wants to deal with, finding a renter and, and having to do perhaps the typical, rental paperwork, legal agreements and all of that. So I'm willing to bet that Noah, the caller, I'm willing to bet that he thought he could take some shortcuts. Yeah, that's what I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet he thought he could take some shortcuts if he just, rented, if he just rented to family. They'll be the first people to screw you over if you have that type of family. I mean, some people really do. So I'm just guessing, he probably rented to them because he thought, oh, it's easier than renting to someone else. It's like you never sell a used car to a family member because you'll never stop hearing about all the problems. You sell it to somebody else, away, unrelated to the family. Best way to do it.
Yeah.
Where's wife?
You knew
where's
what they
wife
were
been
when
on
you
this?
let them move in there, didn't you?
I was.
You knew this was
unfortunately, my
stupid when you
wife-
did it, didn't you?
Yeah, my wife.
Oh, you know what? Family, that deserves some snaps. Yay me. Yay me. I'm on a roll. I'm kicking it. Is the lighting too light in here? I feel like my lighting's kind of off. I feel like I'm looking just a little ashy, or maybe it's just the end of the day of middle school. All right. Yes, he knew. He knew. He was trying to save himself a buck. That's what he was trying to do.
Couldn't understand the thought of her sisters doing this to us, so she was very firm that they wouldn't hurt us in this way.
Yeah, she.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, Noah. No, no. People are always kind to you when they want something from you. Let's compare this to co-signing. Okay? They will be your best friend because they need you to co-sign. Oh, I will pay you back on, I will, actually, with a co-sign, I will never miss a payment. I don't care if I have to work 3 jobs to get this done. Just co-sign for me. And then as soon as the co-signing is done, guess what happens? Yeah, you're relegated to the back of the burner.
She's delusional.
Yeah.
She knew they were crazy too. You knew they were wild as buck.
This is what happens when you try to save some money. And here's the thing, folks. If you watch enough social media, with the exception of this fine channel that you've known to come love and trust since September 2023, if you watch enough social media, you're going to think that every freaking make money, get rich quick scheme is super easy. Oh, it's easy to be a landlord. If I had $1 every time somebody said to me, Carrie, you could just rent out this condo. Do you think I want to deal with tenants? Absolutely not. As one of my students says, when I say, could you pick up some stuff off the floor? He goes, absolutely not. Oh, you gotta love middle school. Okay. No, I absolutely do not want to deal with that whatsoever. Do you think I want to even have to spend money? All the money I would have to spend just to be the landlord, because I would have to hire a property management company. Forget it. Forget it. I want nothing to do with it. People need to stop trying to cut corners to make a buck. Some people, excuse me, some people are cut out to be landlords. They're great at it. They also have a big enough bank account that if you trash it, it doesn't warrant a call to the Dave Ramsey show. But unfortunately, there are a lot of mom and pop landlords who do not have their properties paid off. They're completely reliant on that tenant paying the rent on time so they can make the mortgage payment. I mean, I just think, people need not to believe so easily that being a landlord is so simple. And I'll be honest, the people that I know that have done landlord stuff, they just they're like, I'm over it. I don't want to deal with tenants anymore. I don't want to deal with tenants. I will sell this place. There's no need for me to have a paid off condo and then have to deal with the headaches of being a landlord. There's no financial need for me to do that at all. I can just collect the profit and split.
Didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So you just turned your dadgum thing into a sorority house.
So
It was greed. That's what ultimately did this. Yeah, and it's hard to admit, okay? It is his fault. It's not even the fault of the people who did it. He knew they were already like that. That's why I said, family, I bet he already knew. That's why I earned myself some confetti stripes for that, okay? It was greed. So let's ask the question that I ask in almost every bedtime chit-chat story time. Was this avoidable? Or as Susie Orman would say, was this avoidable? All right? I mean, seriously, was it avoidable? It absolutely was.
Has your sister not called her sisters? I mean, your wife not called her sisters?
The ones that would never do this?
She has talked with her sisters, but they just act like they act like nothing has happened, nothing's wrong, that they didn't destroy this house that was, something that we had worked hard to get to.
So what?
Because one person's what is it? Not everybody has the same concept of what is considered destroyed. That's something to keep in mind. I had a friend years back who let a bird crap in her apartment. Literally, the bird just took a crap, took a dump, whatever you want to call it, okay? Right in the middle of the living room because she had no cage for the damn thing. And it just crapped where it wanted. Now to her, it was like, whatever. I only visited there once and that was enough for me. Actually, I think the bird had a cage. It's just when the bird was out and about, just crapped in wherever it wanted to go. I didn't remain inside very long, all right? And always be looking up, okay? But to her, that was fine. To me, that was ghastly. Oh my gosh, okay? So to some people, dogs crapping in the corner, a bird crapping everywhere, an unvacuumed rug, that's just the normal lifestyle. To me, you're looking at a woman who changes her bed sheets every day to every other day, okay? Who changes her pillowcase every single day. Why would I stick my face in the same pillowcase that I just slept in last night? All right? And I like clean bed sheets every single day. So my bed sheets don't stay on for more than 2. At the absolute most, 3 nights. And I mean that you probably couldn't count in a month how often it hits 3 nights. Otherwise, they're changed every day to every other day. I consider that, why do people like to go to hotels and stuff? Because the bed sheets feel fresh and they're renewed every day. Well, I like to bring that feeling of comfort, that Marriott feeling home. All right. And yeah, it raises my electric bill by a little bit, but you know what? It's cheaper than going to a hotel to try to get that clean feeling when I got the bedding that can do it right here. Okay. So to the sisters, that may have been totally normal. Okay. To the sisters, it may actually have been. Now we could say to normal people, we'd be like, oh, that's how you want to live. But remember this, one person's pigsty one person's home living is another person's pigsty or something like that. And if the sisters did know that they trash it, you think they care? No, it's not theirs.
What does your wife say? Does she say they destroyed it, or is she in denial too?
No.
She's probably in denial.
No, she's not in denial. She's on board, but she's on board with it now. But she's also like, how do we go to Christmas and spend time with the family and then be like, oh, we're not getting you guys gifts because you owe us $2,000 in back rent and the $6,000 or $8,000 in damages that we had to do to get the house livable again because we ended.
First off, you can take them to small claims court. Okay, here's the thing, Noah, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you choose to do nothing, then you gotta stop complaining about it. This is a hard fact of life. If you're going to do nothing, if he's like, well, we got to worry about, what the Christmas environment is going to be like, then do nothing, but stop complaining. You have no right to complain. Otherwise, here's what I would be doing every Christmas, okay? I would give them the tally of what the bill was. And for every Christmas, birthday, whatever you would normally buy them a gift on, show the decrease. Okay, for Christmas, we would have spent $75 on you. All right? Minus 75. Give them the new bill. Would I do that? Probably. Especially if you trash something. But then I have to also go, would I have... also family. This means he leased or he rented to them without a security deposit either. And it appears he probably rented to them without a contract. I'm willing to bet because they were family, he probably skipped over a whole lot of the legalese that he could have used to protect him. Just saying. Just saying, family.
ended up moving back into the house.
Okay, let me
when my work
change gears a minute. I was picking on you, but it's also it is the way you go to Christmas is you take responsibility for this. It is your fault.
You embrace yourself being at one and you go, this was my fault. You're looking at the man in the mirror. What's that Michael Jackson song?
That's how you go to Christmas. You quit blaming them. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The day they were late the first time, you should have moved them. If you're in one of my rental properties and you don't pay your rent, you know what we do? We evict your butt. If we go over and do an inspection, which we do monthly or every 2 months on every single residential property, we walk through it. If a cat lives there or you're partying, we evict your butt. You're not tearing up my property.
And the church crowd says, amen. Exactly. I can tell you this guy went easy on these girls also because they're his wife's sisters. Okay? That's why. Because he's not just balancing the girls that rented the property. That's his wife's siblings. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when, well, life gets complicated and we try to do the cheap end. I'm telling you, he did this to try to save money. It never works, family. It never works.
That's called landlording.
Yeah.
Y'all did not landlord. You didn't collect your rent and you didn't manage your property. You stood back and watched two wild, crazy women tear up your stuff and did nothing about it.
And just listening to him on the phone, listening to the caller, I'm not going to say he sounds weak, but the conviction, the determination that he lacks in his tone about how to solve a problem, it's kind of lacking there. And trust me, when you got little wolves like that, all right, women like that will detect a weakness in a man or a woman. It wouldn't matter. Okay. They will detect a weakness in a man or a woman because that is part of their survival. That's how they've been able to get away with doing damage to stuff. Because, just like they said, darn well, this wasn't the first time they've damaged stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly what happened. I mean, you suck as a landlord, dude.
Yeah. It wasn't originally the plan when we bought the house. It was just my work.
I
Said, hey,
get all that. I get all that. But you're asking
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The fact is you didn't. These are the consequences.
me how you heal the relationships, but you're blaming somebody for being who they is. You already knew who they is.
So
they're irresponsible party animal sorority girls who don't give a crap about anybody, and you brought them in as a tenant, and then you're shocked that they're irresponsible party girls who don't give a crap about anybody, who happens to be kin to me.
He really just didn't want to be a landlord. He wanted to make the money. That's what he was hoping for, quick and easy.
Yeah, and it wasn't even partying. It was more like people with mental health issues like depression, and
it doesn't matter. The damage is done.
They couldn't keep the house clean, and
no, they didn't
were
keep the house clean. They could, but they didn't. Depressed people clean houses all the time.
As a matter of fact, depressed people are probably some of the cleanest houses you've ever seen. I'm going to scrub that toilet till the chrome just sparkles. Okay? Get some of the OCD house cleaning. Trust me, there ain't a, you can go through with a white glove and you will find no dirt.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
If they're getting evicted, if they don't, they suddenly magically clean the house.
So what's your plan moving forward? Have you evicted them from the house?
No.
Yes, so about a year ago, this all started 3 years ago. A year ago, my work offered me an opportunity to work from home, and I said, okay, I'm going to move back into this house.
So are you back in it?
So that yes, I am.
Okay, so it's all fixed and it's all in the rearview mirror. So the only question now is you lost the money and you think you're going to get it. Ha ha, you're not getting it.
I would eat it.
Yeah. I don't think this type of gals, you could take them to court, but they don't care. I think this is just a hard knock learning lesson.
Forget it. Walk away. Forgive and forget. They is who they is. We love them. I've got relatives that vote wrong. I love them anyway. They vote for the wrong people.
Okay.
I just don't understand, but I love them anyway. I got relatives that do other stupid things, and I love them anyway. But they're not renting my dadgum house either.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be tough on you, but the way sometimes that I can put something that's been done to me in the rearview mirror is when I realize how much of it I allowed to happen to me or I invited to happen to me. Therefore, I take responsibility for the situation as much as the goobers.
It's like what I was saying, folks. Was this avoidable? Yeah, it was absolutely avoidable. On the front end, he would have had to have done more work to get a really good tenant in there. But he could have possibly found them. But again, this is why I absolutely refuse to be a landlord. No, thank you.
Goobers are just goobers. It's what they are.
All right, folks, it is Monday. It is a beginning of the week for me. I think we have the gist of this. So I'm going to go ahead. Yay. All right. And I'm going to end it right here. But before I end it right here, I want to make sure I want to do my little public service announcement. All right. For those. So this is the end for those that were interested in the bedtime chit-chat stories time phone call. But before I go, it's really important that if you are on the public service loan forgiveness program, okay, the PSLF, firefighter, police officer, military, teacher, DMV employee, public service, okay? And you are working towards your loan forgiveness. This is my public service announcement, okay? For the month of May and June and possibly into July, PSLF is going to be revamped by the education department as far as the paperwork. Don't panic. They're not getting rid of it. Please don't start believing that, okay? It's not that. But what it is basically the education department right now has companies like Mohila, okay, which we're all familiar with because it used to be Fed Loan, handling paperwork for public service loan forgiveness applications. Okay, when I say applications, I'm talking about people who are working towards their 120 count, all right? For the month of May and June and into July, the education department is stopping all loan forgiveness approvals. Okay, this does not mean you cannot keep working towards loan forgiveness. It does not mean you should stop your payments. Everything keeps going, including applying, even if you're brand new to PSLF. You can apply. What they want you to do, however, is screenshot. Okay, keep copies of all your correspondence, your payments and everything, because here's what they're going to do. And I think it's actually a good thing. They're going to streamline it so that the education department deals with PSLF. Now I don't want to get into the hairy technicals of it because it is still a little bit confusing because some of the people who are with Mahila, if you have PSLF, you're going to get moved to the education department. And I think that's actually a good thing. Okay. So PSLF is basically going to become its own little application area run by ED, which is the education department. Sometimes you'll see ED in the news reports and stuff. That stands for the education department. So this is just my courtesy heads up to let people know this. Okay. This is according to Forbes.com. If you're really dying to look it up, I could look it up, but I'm tired, so I'm not going to right now. But it is according to Forbes.com, okay? And it's been in the news for a little bit, but I just didn't report on it because I wanted to see if it was actually really going to happen, and it is. So I think in many ways, if you're on PSLF, I think it's actually a good thing. So if you are on PSLF and you're with a loan servicer like Mohila, whatnot, you must over the next 2 to 3 months need to open that mail. And I've talked to you guys before about this. There are people who are very hesitant to open their mail. People, you got to open that freaking mail. You got to open the mail, the hard mail that you get in your mailbox. You need to open all emails because they're going to be transferring people from their current loan provider that is handling their PSLF to the education department. So that means if you have Mohila, you may be transferred over. So please, I beg you, okay, open all mail, open all correspondence, but they're going to halt, all approvals. So let's say you're at 120, you're waiting for it to get approved and you realize, time is passing and nothing is happening. No approvals are going to happen for May and June and possibly into July. So I know it seems like a long wait when you are actually like you're going, give me my forgiveness. Okay. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. So please, I beg you, check your emails, open your mails, leave nothing unopened. Save all your documentation, okay? And I will be following the news on that very closely for you and giving you updates. But that is the latest update. And in many ways, I think it's actually a good thing. So PSLF is not going away. It's not changing the rules of the 120 count, yada, yada. But I think they're trying to make it better as to how the paperwork itself is actually handled. Of course, they've done this many times, so just another round. Okay? I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Guys, I'd like to thank you for joining me this Monday evening. I hope you will consider subscribing. You guys have yourselves a terrific rest of your Monday night. Bye, everyone.